Hello everybody and welcome to round number 19 of 20 of Season 5 of the Sunoco Elite Series. We are here, back at Bermuda Superspeedway here in Portugal for 40 laps around this tricky triangle here. We've been to another triangle track in the past being Toddering, but this one over in Portugal instead of Pennsylvania being Toddering. And this track brought some interesting racing last year, and we'll have to see how it fares this year as we're closing in on the end of the championship. A few headlines came out as the stewards of the Sunoco Elite Series have invited actually invited three teams to join the Sunoco Elite Series, from Lights to Accepted, one denied, so we will be having two brand new teams next season, being Fallout Racing and Monaco Dynasty Racing, in which Ryan Monaco will take over that team and run that from the box. So Ryan won't be very far even after this season ends. They've already recruited some drivers, but we'll get to talking about that later. But on pole position today, Cordell Paulson, your reigning champion, trying to lock together something here. He's 7th in the championship. He could still technically win it, but it's a little far right now. He's got to get some good luck going forward in the next race or two before we actually fully reach the finale, because this is the last race before we head to La Colina for the finale. But the finale is a doubleheader. Only 3 races left in the championship. Paulson a little over a race behind, so it's still possible for Paulson to win this championship. It's a little bit of a long shot. Alongside the points leader, John Arndt, who is trying to gain more points. He's up, what is it now, 88 up on Paul Jackson. Jackson really needs something today, and it's not good to see John Arndt up in second for him, but it's a super speedway, so anything can happen here. On row 2, you got Jack Halleck, last week's winner at the Greyhound. Halleck on a big high right now. He's got his 3rd win of the season. He's moving to Monarch next season, which will be down in rank C, so he'll have some work to do down there, but trying to finish out a season in rank A strong. He starts on row 2 alongside Dak Jovic, who's in this championship fight still, along with Paulson, who's a little over a race behind as well. Jovic has some time to make up. He needs to get back in form that we saw him earlier this season. On row 3, you got Nick Pericles, who is pretty far out of the championship hunt, but could, again, still technically can do it. He's still in the hunt. We'll just have to see as time goes on. Can Pericles close this gap on John Arndt? Alongside Scott Roush, who is within a race of your points leader, John Arndt. So Roush could take the points lead, but he'll need a big mistake like a wreck out of John Arndt or a mechanical issue, and he'll need to probably win this race. But Roush still very much in this championship. On row 4, you've got Philip Scott fighting to stay in contention in the championship currently. As if I'm correct, there's only 22 people left. Philip Scott definitely still one of them, and definitely could be a threat for the championship, but he's got to get really good runs in the next 3 races, like a win or 2, if he wants to be in this championship hunt. Alongside Sean Angel, who, after an unfortunate silly season, has found his ride at Red Stallion, just did not find a ride anywhere else, and is going to have to deal with going to Red Stallion next season, but maybe just an off season from being near the front, and maybe we'll see him back up at the front in season 7. And on row 5, you got Gatlin Downey, who is out of the championship hunt. I'm not sure if Angel is. I don't think he is. But Downey is out of the championship hunt, but Downey was signed to HHSR next season, which they have a possibility of going rank C. So watch out for that team if they can keep up a decent performance. Alongside Vance Caldwell, who is in the top 10 in points, if I'm correct, maybe a little bit out of it. Caldwell could still win this championship, but like Paulson and Jovic and Pericles, they'll need to speed it up. So, a lot of people here still looking for a good result. Behind them, you got a few threats. Hans Windhelm, 3rd in points. Paul Jackson, 2nd in points. Ryan Monaco, 6th in points, who is barely out of one race of John Arndt. He is definitely a championship contender at this point. But the most important thing in the field right now is this man, Dan Bartlett, who can clinch the Rookie of the Year title today. He can seal it in Bermuda, but he needs a miracle to do it. Here's your command. His commands, the car's getting fired up and ready to go. Bartlett to clinch the Rookie of the Year title. He needs to win this race with max points, and Jimmy Perez needs to not score. If that happens, he is your Rookie of the Year, and it'll be the first time that any title was clinched before the finale. Bartlett has a chance to do it now, but he needs a good run today. Get max points. He needs to be the high climber, lead the most laps, and win the race. Duncan could also win this championship right now. He is sitting 4th in points, because Monaco's 6th. I believe Duncan is 5th in points, if I'm correct. 5th or 4th, but Duncan has had a great run in the International Tour. He's one of the, if not the highest scoring person in the International Tour, and Duncan could be a big threat once we get to La Colina, but he needs a good result today. A lot of people need good results today, and they all need to get ahead of this guy, John Arndt. He's starting on the front row, but he's starting on the outside, meaning he'll be at a slight disadvantage to Cordell Paulson. So if he gets trapped on the outside, he could fall back pretty far. It just depends on how fast he is on track. As they're starting to speed up, get ready to go. Also, the fight for rank A between Shock Allison Racing and Full Frontal Motorsports is still ongoing. Keep your eye on those two teams as we go forward in the race. Cordell Paulson signed to Full Frontal Motorsports next season. He's got a lot of confidence right now, knowing that he has a ride, so he could bring something home here for Cleveros Racing in his last few starts for this team. Out of the last corner, it'll be Cordell Paulson leading it down to the green flag here in Bermuda Superspeedway here in Portugal for the second to last round of the season, our last Superspeedway. And green flag is in the air in Bermuda. It was a better start for the one car of Cordell Paulson. Arndt not off to the start he wanted. Arndt needed a fantastic start to beat Paulson to the first corner to get that inside, which he will not get. And now a battle between Paulson and Halleck is waging. Hercules gonna make it 3 wide for the lead early. They're still getting up to speed. Arndt pushed into the third lane. 3 wide for the first 2 rows. Teammates down low, that's Pericles and Scott. Trying to keep it together. Trying to get in the front. Jackson slips below Windhelm just barely and will try to take over his position now. Right at the last corner of the finish lap 1, it's Nick Pericles leading the very first lap of the race, but he probably won't lead it for long. He blocks down his teammate, he blocks Downey, and Pericles has to worry about all 3 lanes right now. We expected this 3x3. You see Sean Angel trying to challenge Downey. Downey has already won a Super Speedway this season. He's the only ranked D winner in history. Won it earlier this season at Armory Digital. Jackson and Bartlett on the low line. Jackson now moves up to the middle. That was a very strange tactic. I don't know what he's doing. But it looks like he's intentionally recycling himself backwards a little bit, trying not to get at the front too early. That might be a good strategy, though. Pericles leads lap 2 now. But now Angel getting into the fight. Duncan! Again, I told you, it doesn't matter where you start at this track. As long as you get a good run on the inside line, you can get up here immediately. Duncan's starting near the rear. He's already on the podium. We are 4 wide for third. Oh boy. It's heated now. Jackson lets Downey in so a wreck doesn't occur. Good job, Jackson. Because that could have ended bad for him too. He knew that. Shepard and Iran. Iran down makes it 4 wide again. Now it's Bartlett stuck out there. Downey lets him in. Again, these guys don't want to cause a big wreck. That would be bad for everyone in the field, especially when they're this bunched up. Angel, down on the inside, lap 4. Finally have someone challenging Pericles. Sean Angel takes the lead, but not before he's getting challenged by the 91 behind. Get your leaderboard up. Iran not able to challenge Angel just yet. Sean Angel going to remain out front. Look at how close these laps are. Your fast lap, Alexander Rowe at a 48.004. And there goes Iran down the inside with Jones behind. Bobby Jones has not had a good season. He won't get a full-time chartered ride next season. We got the 2 unchartered teams. Already have 1 recruited each. We can talk about that now while they're just recycling through people. Fallout Racing has signed, if I'm correct, yeah, Fallout Racing signed PJ Karenko, which is a name that not a lot of people may know, but he was a name that appeared back in the first few seasons, drove for Fitzwater Australia for 3 seasons? I want to say 2 seasons. He drove for Fitzwater Australia for 2 seasons, then moved over to Trailblazer to drive for a season, then he left. So Karenko going to be returning to the series next season. And Monaco Dynasty has recruited Stephen Thompson. Big shakeup on the outside line. Lost a lot of momentum. Arndt still trapped on the outside going to the rear. And Rowe, who had the fastest lap, on his way. Now he doesn't. Now it's Paulson, who is battling with Windhelm back there. Jackson still falling back. Again, unsure if that's intentional. It might be an intentional strategy play to avoid any wrecks that may happen at the front, but Iran defending from the 26 now. The 87 of Rowe down the inside of Stephen Thompson. Mulcher, can he get low? Mulcher got second at this race last year. He's good here. Brock looking for number 10 still. You see Rowe trying to get down the inside of Gerard Iran. No. Iran still going to hold it. Maverick GP looking for another win. Halleck and Rowe are still in the fight for the championship. All of Maverick is still in the fight for the championship. Iran is not. Iran cannot win the championship, but he still wants a win. He continues to lead over now what is Mulcher and Halleck, future teammates. They'll be teammates at Monarch next season. Brock with Paulson. Looked like he was thinking about making a move on Halleck. They're making it 3 wide. But he won't. Brock going to stick behind. Is Paulson going to make a move on Brock? No. Paulson slips behind Brock. They're going to work together here. Try to get a position or 2. Not going to get there on Halleck. Going to get there on Rowe, though. Halleck and Mulcher overtaking Iran. Can Brock get low? Okay, will his teammate let him in? He will. Full Frontal Motorsports currently holds a 2-3-4 behind Halleck. It's a 3 wide between Full Frontal. All 3 of the team, all work battling between each other. Halleck defending them all. No, he won't. Down the inside goes Brock and Vincent. Vincent looks like he's going to take the lead with Irvine, Roush, Thin Guy, and Bartlett. Not far behind him. Pushing him to the front here. Irvine! 4 wide for the lead! Well, looks like Vincent attempting to close the door. Not going to work. Irvine going to get the nose under. Down on the inside. Halleck pushed behind. It's only a 3 wide now. Trailblazer really needing a good result to try to get themselves in the hunt for a rank B position. And Irvine trying to do just that. Bartlett trying to do that, just that. A log trying to do just that. But now it's been Waller there, Irvine up front. You see, like mentioned, Bartlett on his way back up through the field. Duncan on his way back up through the field. Arndt on his way back up through the field with Jackson in tow. But it's Irvine who leads the lap. Fastest lap of anyone is Duncan. A big bobble out of Roush disrupted the whole pack. That could have ended terribly, but that gives Irvine a little bit of a lead. Jeffrey Thin Guy with Dan Bartlett in tow, trying to go down the inside of Scott Roush. Not going to get there. Bartlett's not close enough to give a big push. What about Arndt and Jackson? Arndt was able to get Jackson in the middle line. So Jackson gonna have to deal with being pushed wide a little bit. Hoping that Arndt gets pushed wide as well. Vincent overtakes for the lead once again. Roush down the inside for the lead. Got Thin Guy and a log and Bartlett all closing in at an alarming pace. Those three were really quick in 1 and 2. Now Finguy, really close to Roush. Former teammates. And Finguy looking, no. Finguy will not look down the inside just yet. Skylar Johnson closing in quickly. Brock closing back in. He's back in line. Finguy down the inside for the lead. Alog, are you going to keep with him or are you going to betray him and try to go for the lead yourself? Is it too early to be fighting for the lead this hard? Bartlett and Irvine working together to try to slip back into line back there. I don't see Arndt on the low line. That's because he's not anymore. Now they need to all find their way low. Currently in last is not good for Windhelm. Windhelm needs to get up through the pack if he wants to get himself in a championship hunt. Finguy and Alog battling. It's rank C. 1-2. But they got rank B. 3, 4, 5, and 6 behind. The first rank A is Rowe, who closes in 7th. Trailblazer hasn't gotten 2 wins on a season. God, it's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. I think it's been like season 2 was the last time they got 2 wins in a season. Now, all 3 of them in the top 10, one of them leading. Over Brock and Skylar Johnson. Rowe on his way back up. We've mentioned before, but at Superspeedways like this, you see a few specific names who keep reappearing. No matter how far they drop back, they always find their way back up to the front. And then there's a few names who just can never find their way up. Trailblazer seems like the people who are constantly at the front here. Shepard on his way back up. He was near the front earlier. I don't expect it to be long before we see these people start to hunt back up through. Roush, Vincent, Finguy, Mulcher. Apologies. Don't know what that was about. Rowe making the move up into 2nd. Alog has been leading for the last few laps here. How long more? Bartlett down the inside of Jones. A very big lunge, very quick. Through the inside, and now it's a Trailblazer 1-3. Aran has reached the front once again. Aran is another one of the names who seems to be constantly getting back to the front. Bartlett makes sure Rowe cannot have any sort of retaliation down the inside, and it's a Trailblazer 1-2. Trailblazer had a 1-2 at Talladega earlier this season, and that's how they finished. Bartlett was 2nd there too, but it was to Irvine. Not to Alog. Alog has not won a race since season 2. Back when he was under Clubhouse Racing, that's the only team he's ever won at. He'll be heading over to Thundersport Racing Australia next season, which used to be Epic Motorsports, which was the team he was in back in season 3 and 4, part of season 4. Before he moved back to Clubhouse to finish out that season. Now he's at Trailblazer. But Bartlett now down the inside of Alog. Bartlett's been pretty quick at Superspeedways as well, which has been a surprise this season. A lot of people expected him to just be a big road course guy, but he's been a good Superspeedway guy. But Shepard, the Superspeedway king down the inside. He may be good at Superspeedways, but he's not as good as that guy. You see Shock Allison racing kind of... Oh! Trailblazer together! Bartlett's around! Big wreck! And your leaders are involved. A few championship contenders are involved. Shepard will lead it back. What just happened? Teammate catastrophe is all I can say about this. As out of 2, what happened? Bartlett moving wide, thinking he's clear of Irvine, would not be clear of Irvine, and would go around. Let's see who gets involved here. You see Anderson takes a big hit there. The 20 of Eric Monaco, a big hit for Jackson. Not good for him. Did Arndt take damage? I saw he was in the middle. You see it's all up ahead. He can't avoid. There he is. There's damage there for John Arndt. And it's big damage for a few championship contenders. Oh, that's a nasty hit there. You see Scott Ganassi all involved. You see Pericles and Scott down here. The big one strikes here at Bermuda. And a lot of big names involved. Roush, not involved. Ryan Monaco, not involved. That's big. Duncan, not involved. But Jackson and Arndt took two big licks. And Windhelm, your top three in points, are involved in this wreck. That is huge championship implications if Roush can take advantage of it. He didn't take much advantage of it back in Greyhound. But there was a lot of talk before the race. A lot of people saying that Arndt may have this championship locked up. But with those hits to his engine, that may turn it around. We don't know if anything's actually wrong with that 05. We know something's wrong with the 10. We know there is something wrong with the 10. The 10 took a huge lick on the back of Anderson. Could not avoid it, and this is not what Jackson needed right now. We'll be back. Yeah, the big one definitely took some lives here. Aran, Alog, Anderson, Bartlett, Carlson, that's Freeze, and Eric Monaco, all out of the race. But one name I don't see is out. Where is Jackson? Has dropped. That's big. That is huge for this championship. Paul Jackson, another big hit to his title with 2 races to go. That's a constant theme for him. It's going to be a lot to catch Arndt now. Arndt up in 16th, but we are unsure how much damage is applied to that 05. We will have to see as this race continues. We'll be back when we go green. And there it is. Jackson will score points, though, but it's a 29th place finish after a 30th place finish. That is not what he wants. But Aiden Shepard will lead it back down to the green flag here in Bermuda, trying to go for his 4th Superspeedway win of his career. About halfway through the race, green flag will hit back in the air in Portugal. How much is this going to shake up the field? One thing is, Full Frontal and Shock Allison have both got to be very happy that they were not involved in that. No, none of those two teams were involved, so their fight continues. Completely unaffected by that wreck. Their rank A fight continues between them. Shepard out front of Carson Bowers. These two fought back in Pensacola earlier this year. And it's Bowers down the inside, making the move he thought he probably should have made back in Pensacola at the beginning of the season. He probably regrets not going for that move, but he does today. Now we need to focus. How's the 05? Oh, the 6 looks like he's got damage as well. Arndt is not looking up the pace. I think Arndt's got something wrong. I think something's wrong in the 05, and that's fully expected with the 2 hits he took. There is definitely something wrong with the 05. He's dropping like a rock. Scott Ganassi Racing has got to be devastated right now, but Scott Roush has got to be ecstatic from what's happening right now, that they have a chance to do this. They have a chance to turn this championship on its head. Paulson as well. Ryan as well. Duncan as well. They all have a chance to turn this entire championship on its head, because with Jackson out of the race and Arndt dropping like a rock. Yeah, everyone is 2 miles per hour on average ahead of him. Arndt's race is over. Epic Motorsports race is over. But Fitzwater Australia's is not, even though Anderson dropped out. Bowers and Fitzwater are both near the front here. Carson Bowers leading. He's won at a Superspeedway before himself. I'm not sure if Vincent ever has. No, I don't think he has. But Finn Guy down the inside for Monarch Motorsports for second. Irvine, his two teammates are gone, but he's not done. Mulcher right behind. Mulcher doesn't have to worry about Anderson stealing this win from him this time. He's got Roush, his former team owner, behind him. That's going to be a good help. Where's Duncan? He's close. Halleck is close. Ryan. Pericles. This championship just got hit by an earthquake. Vincent pushed out of line by Shepard. Shepard looking like he wants to get low. Is his teammate going to let him in? He will. Ryan lets Shepard in. They're together again. They're going to head towards the front. Finn Guy's gotten through Roush. Finn Guy now going to look like he might go for the lead here on Bowers. He will. With help from Irvine from behind. Monarch also was big in that wreck. So I'm guessing Finn Guy and Irvine are cutting any rivalry that those two teams have had and are just working together to get their teams some points. And it seems to be working too. Irvine and Finn Guy working together well. Going 1-2 right now. Finn Guy in the lead. Finn Guy driving for Clever House Racing next season. It'll be his last season in the sport. But he wants another win to his name before it ends. This could be the place to do it. Duncan on his way. Oh, and with Bartlett dropping out, that guarantees that the Rookie of the Year will go to the finale. Finn Guy out front. Irvine starting to struggle with some people behind. Finn Guy getting low, giving him some support here. Giving him a draft. Gatlin Downey now they're closing in on. He was involved in that big wreck. Duncan. Oh, he looked like he wanted to go for it there. But he was a little too far. Duncan. Oh, the whole of Clever House Racing is here. They're all together. Duncan, Paulson, and Angel all on the inside together. This team's heading to the front. They're all pushing Duncan to the front because they know he's in this championship fight. They know he needs a chance at this, and now he's in second. Paulson's in third. But Paulson's in the championship fight too. He could win this title. So he's going to try to challenge his teammate here. He won't be able to. He pushes Mulcher wide. He doesn't want to give him any chance to challenge him. Duncan closing in on the 8 of Jeffrey Finn Guy. Coming to 10 laps to go. Clever House Racing had an amazing run to get to the front. Brock getting there. Oh, Curtis. He's in this pack. I forgot Curtis existed. Carlson is out of the race, though, so it's just these two carrying the torch for the team. A lot like how they did it in Armory Digital in Season 4 when Windhelm and Caesar brought home a win for the team. Can Finn Guy and Curtis do the same? Duncan pushed wide. Brock getting in this with his teammate. Full Frontal having a magnificent day, but no one is matching Finn Guy yet. And not only that, but Finn Guy's teammate is closing in behind. Monarch starting to get really in this picture. Shepard, I see him getting in the picture. Where is Ryan Monaco? He's dropped off. Same with Roush. What about the 05? Stukel got through him. Now Rowe is trying to get through him. Finn Guy still defending, and it's two Full Frontal cars side by side behind him. 9 laps to go for Finn Guy here in Bermuda. Finn Guy has had a great day. He's stayed near the front the whole race, and it's starting to pull through now because now his teammates here, he has support Oh, but Shepard crushes those hopes as he's going to go down the inside for the position. On Curtis. Curtis shuts the door. Down the inside of Mulcher. Finguy has got to be really happy to see that 88 closing in, knowing that that's support. That even if they fight at the end, at least he knows that this team is going to have a good result. But Brock closes the door on Curtis. Duncan getting back in the fight. Not long now, 8 laps to go for Jeffrey Finguy. But Brock looking very eager for this position. Curtis, you need to be challenging Brock soon or he's going to go after Finguy. And he will! The teammate support comes through. Curtis challenging Brock. Brock does not want to give Finguy a challenge yet. He knows who's behind him. It's 3 Fords surrounding a Chevy. Oh, but it's inevitable that Brock's going to challenge him. Unless the 88 can do something, but the 88's out of line now. Shepard down the inside. Aiden Shepard, the Superspeedway king. You can never leave him out at a track like this. 7 laps to go for Finguy. Brock is stalking him right now. Where and when? Oh, Jimmy Perez could play a factor in this. Brock down the inside. But Perez blocks him. Finguy back on the outside. He's got the lead back. It's not over for Finguy. Finguy continues to hold, but now Curtis is back. And he is ready to challenge. Oh, but this is what happened to Duncan in Season 4 at Armory Digital. He got too big of a gap and it came back to bite him. Because now he's got no draft. And that's going to close them in very quickly. Skylar Johnson going for 3rd. Mulcher and Vincent getting in the fight. Full frontals all back at the front. It seems that it's full frontal versus Monarch versus the stray Shock Allison. There they are. They've closed on Finguy. Finguy needs to hope that Skylar Johnson has something for Brock here. She does, but Brock has something for Finguy. Finguy blocks Brock. Skylar Johnson for 2nd. Not long now. 5 laps to go for Jeffrey Finguy. Skylar Johnson in her Rooster Teeth Ruby number 99 car. Trying to track down Finguy. But Vincent and Mulcher, the tag team, with Brock on the outside, all trying to get their shot at Finguy. Skylar Johnson. Finguy is her mentor. Now it's the fight between them. But Vincent getting in it. Mulcher on his way. You can't leave out people like Duncan, Bitswater, or Paulson back there, or Irvine. This race is not over. Finguy still leads. 4 laps to go. He's defended from everyone at full frontal at this point. He's keeping that whole team at bay. But how long? Vincent going for win number 3 on the season. There's smoke. Shepard's in the pits. Oh, that's unfortunate. Shepard is down for the count. Finguy continuing to defend with all of his might. All of his determination going into this one race. Mulcher and Irvine down the inside of Vincent. Not successful, but Mulcher will get Irvine. Uh-oh. More lap cars. That's Caldwell, Windhelm, and Downey again. Vincent not doing anything yet. And there's the roadblock! Mo, that's Big Guy held up! Full Frontal Motorsports going to a 1-2! Finn Guy got so close! But now Vincent held up by Caldwell! 3 lap cars in a row is a huge roadblock! 2 laps to go for Vincent Curtis down the inside! Jones getting in it! And Widom holds him up! Here comes Brock and Jones! Bobby Jones down the inside! Could Red Stallion really pull their second win here? Brock and Mulcher tailing the back of Jones. Irvine getting down the inside of Brock. It seems like it's a 6-way battle for the win now. Maybe Angel could be in it, but I doubt it. Everyone else is out. White flag in the air for Bobby Jones, of all people. Jones, can he hold him? No. Mulcher down the inside. Irvine down the inside. Is there any more lap cars? I don't think there is. No. No one else is going to get involved in this battle. It's these 6. That's it. Irvine down the inside in 2. 1 more corner. Can Trailblazer take it home after all? There's Angel getting into it. Could Brock get into it? Into the last corner. And Benoit Irvine will take his 3rd career win, his 2nd of the season, and he wins at Bermuda. 3 black cars were the difference. That changed the entire game right at the end, and Irvine will get his 2nd Superspeedway win of the season, his 2nd win of the season, and his 3rd of his career. And even though Trailblazer got involved in that big wreck, they still pulled through. Irvine takes a win for Trailblazer once again, retying them with Maverick GP on the all-time win list. And what a day it is for the crew, number 7 crew, the team owner, taking the victory with another team owner behind him, Brock, in 2nd. Duncan, P11. That is what he needed on Arndt right now. He needed that. Roush, not going to be able to take as much of an advantage of it. Same with Ryan Monaco, but they still did. They're still taking points. And those points are going to be so important for this title fight. But Irvine got exactly he was in the exact right place at the exact right time. And in a last lap pass, the same way he did it, back in Talladega, he'll take the win here in Bermuda in our 2nd to last round of the season. Congratulations to Irvine. Let's go look at your finishing results. So it's been well out there, Irvine taking the win here. The Frenchman taking the win in Portugal. It's not a win at France, but at least it's a win in Europe. William Brock in 2nd, Skylar Johnson 3rd, Sean Angel in 4th, Kieran Mulcher in 5th, DJ Curtis in 6th, Cordell Paulson in 7th, Adam Vincent in 8th, Bobby Jones in 9th, and Jeffrey Finguy, even with the lap cars, still finishing in the top 10 is a very solid result for Monarch Motorsports and Jeffrey Finguy. Definitely a good confidence booster to know he can still run with these guys. My voice is gone. Duncan, a great day in 11th as Arndt down in 22nd. That is a lot of points he's gaining, and he may have just taken 2nd in points. That's another amazing result for the 66 crew, and it's what they needed. But this was a huge shakeup in this championship. Shepard out for a piston issue, late race. Jackson scoring points. That's important because that means he's still in the fight. If he did not score points, he would be on the outside looking in. Which is not a place you want to be going into the finale. So Jackson could still be in this title fight, but he'll need a lot in the 2 La Colina doubleheader races. But congratulations to Benoit Ravine. It was a great day for Full Frontal especially. It's a 2, 5, and 8. Exactly what they needed, but Shock Allison replies back with a 3rd. So, that was a loud truck. But Full Frontal got the day they needed. Shock Allison tries to reply back, but won't be able to very well. Although Skylar Johnson got 3rd, you see Thompson all the way down in 17th and Jovic in 19th. Definitely a better day for Full Frontal, and that fight for rank A just got closer. Unsure if Trailblazers made up time on Fitzwater Australia, but Monarch has. You could definitely tell that. But congratulations, Benoit Ravine. Let's go look at your points position. So as we look at our points out of Bermuda going into the finale of Season 5 of the Sunoco Elite Series, John Arndt leads it over a sizable amount of 68 points over William Duncan. Now is taking the 2nd position after a great result in Bermuda. Pushes Roush and Jackson down. Duncan really needs good results in La Colina to be able to catch up to John Arndt. John Arndt, again, 68 points up, but in the first race of the doubleheader, just the first, 7 people could be in the points lead afterwards. Arndt, Duncan, Roush, Jackson, Paulson, Monaco, Windhelm. All those people are within 112 points, which is 112 points is the max amount of points, although Windhelm would need the high climber to get it, which he can't get it. Same with Ryan, if I'm correct. He needs high climber. If he wants to get it. I'm not sure. Or no, they need pole. So no. With the way where they're going to qualify, Ryan, Monaco, and Windhelm won't really be able to. It's statistically maybe possible for Monaco. He need high climber, which is hard starting 6th because we go off points position. But nonetheless, they're still in the fight. A lot of people knocked out of contention. Everyone you see down to Kieran Mulcher are the only people left in this. This means Philip Scott, Sean Angel, Stephen Thompson, Carson Bowers, Max Anderson, all of Fitzwater Australia is out of this title. Cannot win it. All that's left is your top 17, which, if we're looking at the top 17, I do not see any rank C. Oh, Benoit Ravine is the only rank C remaining, and there's no rank Ds left. There had been no rank Ds left for a little bit. But, yeah, Benoit Ravine is the only rank C left in the fight for the title, but 171 points down. It's a long shot. So look down some of the people down here who just did not have championship they wanted. Jones, Downey, Freeze, Aran, Perez, Curtis and Bartlett now. The gap between them, less than 100 points. It's possible that Curtis could reach Bartlett for the Rookie of the Year title. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't think it will. He's pretty far still. About 70 points. 71 points ahead of Curtis is Bartlett. So Bartlett just needs 2 solid finishes, and he's going to lock this Rookie of the Year title for himself. Log, Monaco, Fitzwater, Bartlett, Stuckel, Finguy, Shepard, Carlson, Anderson, Bowers, Thompson, Angel, and Scott. There's everyone who's out. The rest are still in. Half of the field is out. So, we also need to look at these guys. Not those two. These guys, the part-time championship coming to a close. Right now, Darrell is looking solid. 2 races left for them. I believe it's possible for Monaco to catch Darrell. Yeah, it should be possible. No, it's definitely possible. Because both Monaco... No, Monaco will not be appearing. Ooh, so it's up to Darrell here. Darrell just needs 2 solid results again to be able to do it. He needs to be... get a lot of points in these last 2 races. So we're unsure how that's going to go. Everyone but Monaco and Durrell are pretty much out, though. Look down at your constructors' points. Maverick GP, the first team to reach 3,000 points on a season. It's been a great season for them. And they may be going towards their second constructors title. But Clever Haas Racing may have something to say about that before they move down to rank B. They have the most top 10s and top 5s on the season. And they've been very impressive with the lineup they've had. Scott Ganassi down third, Shock Allison in fourth, which means that now Roush Racing is under pressure from Full Frontal. For the last rank A spot, Shock Allison jumped ahead, giving them that little bit of opportunity, along with the fact Trailblazer and Fitzwater Australia are continuing to fight, and it might go to Trailblazer here. They've had a lot of momentum in the entire international tour. Don't want to jinx it. It may not happen. It may happen. I don't know what is going to happen going in that finale. There is only about 50 points separating them. Less than that. So it's going to be intense. It's going to be down to the wire for those two teams. Who's going to get that last rank B spot? Could Trailblazer finally break rank B for their first time? 2 wins this season. The first time they've had that, if I'm correct, since season 2. Monarch, it's a stretch for them to reach Fitzwater, but it's possible. It's not out of realm of possibility. HHSR, not so much. It's not going to happen, and especially Red Stallion, who's just going to have to deal with being ranked D. It sucks, but they will. But they will. But as we go into this finale, it all comes down to how well Arndt can perform. If you don't know how La Colina works, the starting grid will be decided off of points position, but Arndt will not get the extra points for pole position because it wasn't earned. It was given to him on points, so does not count as pole position, does not give him 5 points. Do not worry about that. 68 points is what Duncan has to make up for this title. 74 for Roush, and Jackson is 96. Jackson's fought for many titles, but at this moment, I don't see it happening. I think Jackson's going to have to wait another year. But it's been another great year for Paul Jackson. Duncan and Roush could do it, but it's still pretty far out with how impressive Arndt has been this season. 11 top 10s. That is 2 more than Duncan and Windham, who are the next ones down. Then it's Jackson, Paulson, and Vincent at 8. Arndt has been so good this season, but Duncan is good at top 5s. He is 8 this season, which is 2 more than Roush at 6, who is the next one down. Arndt only has 5 top 5s compared to Duncan's 8, so it seems Duncan's more consistent on getting into that top 5. We'll have to see if that's able to carry over. And we'll see if he can get a good result on Arndt. He'll need to make 34 points a race on Arndt, which is a lot. It is. But it's possible. We've seen it in the past. But right now, it looks like Arndt might have this championship. But 2 more races to go. The finale will be next in the Sunoco Elite Series Season 5 before we move on to Season 6. 2 races left in the championship fight, both at La Colina, both ending in Spain, where we will crown your Season 5 Sunoco Elite Series champion and your Constructors champions, a possible 2-time Constructors champion on the horizon. No team has ever done that. But until next time, guys, ciao.